Hello, Collective. This is a timeless reading. You may have caught a vibe and seeing whether or not anything within the storytelling time is yours. And please bear in mind that this is a timeless message, so past, present, and future energetical timelines, and whenever you are here, there may be something here within this storytelling time. However, energies may come up, whether they're feminine and masculine, they're non-gender specific. Use your discernment to take all of that which belongs to you, leave the rest behind. And just know that I am Master 7th, aka 7th, that reads these energies should you want to know who she is, what she's all about. Her details can be found in the description box below via a link. You will find other various links within the description box to navigate this channel and make your way over to the sister channel if you feel yourself requiring or desiring more content of mine. All of it is timeless. There is almost like a space within, I call it this bubble. This bubble, which is the reading, that is asking to accept what they can't figure out for themselves. It's more or less speaking of the energy happening in the background. What's in the foreground is the most prominent image, what may attract the eye a bit more, and the more you find a focus point to look at, the more you can accept whatever you want to conjure up as a meaning of some kind, upon reflection, upon hearing, and upon seeing. And within that context, within this so-called bubble, you zoomed in and trying to figure out to understand what this is. And while we're zoomed in, we have the viewpoint of this infinity symbol that's shaping around two obstacles. And to bring the image alive, put our hands up and imagine what this imagery is trying to have us mock. And we try to imagine if they have weight to it, if it has meaning, if we can even procure the image, if we can gain anything in doing so. And in that doing, in that creation of the mind's eye, maybe you're creating this imagery without actually putting your hands up and mocking what the imagery does. You're just listening to the message, and you can thus perceive something. That perception is your whole viewpoint of this bubble, this zooming in version of this bubble. And however that world makes you feel comfortable is however much you feel comfortable with yourself. Knight of Swords. So you feel unavoidable feelings. You feel in the midst of unavoidable stress. You are perhaps amongst individuals you can't avoid. And whatever else could follow suit is more or less triggering if you can try to remember what the beginning version of you is. The one that doesn't understand fear, doesn't understand happiness, doesn't understand sadness, doesn't understand guilt, betrayal, victimization or predatorial ways, if you can get back to that beginning, would you stop yourself in doing so? Or would you accept that journey? And that's where it becomes more or less perhaps a not like feeling in your stomach, a nauseous feeling, gassy, feeling uncomfortable. Maybe the body is just reacting because it's trying to let you know it's uncomfortable. And the most prominent way to make you aware of that is whatever it is that you'll answer to. If you show attention to the fact that you have discomfort within you, you're showing up to accepting that there's something impure happening at this very moment of this occurrence. And while you're in that occurrence, you can push back what is giving you so much to feel and see if you can keep pushing with the exact same force that it's trying to reach you. And that's when, if you concentrate with that, focus on that, the energy may shift. It may shift in releasing of a breath. It may shift from that not in his stomach feeling or whatever feeling in the stomach or whatever example came up, to slowly give you the anticipation that it's losing power, aka diminishing, becoming less. Yeah, Five of Pentacles, Three of Wands. So I do see it as wanting to return back to something while remembering exactly where you're coming from. So you're actually never having to go anywhere at all. What can bring you a sense of going to that time and space is the action of thought, the action of movement, the action of thinking for the thought, the feeling, the action of feeling, the action of inaction, and trying to look at it from a multidimensional point of view. And if you can't see it because you're too busy feeling it, then feeling it from a multidimensional aspect. The act of staying still is impossible because the one that's hungry to avoid or to answer to is going to put it within action what they are more or less battling with. They're going to subtly or loudly compute their life in injustice, in some sort of justice to their flow. And whether that is justice or an injustice is however it brings you imbalances or balances in life. So as you can imagine, there are various ways that can make you become a frequency of an individual, someone that can maybe feel this type of neurotic energy at all times. And sometimes that neuroticism, you ground that energy, and what becomes like 16th notes of 32nd notes become slower. It doesn't mean that the anxiety diminishes. It's just that there's a different beat, there's a different tempo. The underlying rhythm is this, but you've got it grounded to this, and then maybe ground it to this, and then get to a mastery of self for here. And keeping that with breath, while knowing that you can do this, this and this, while retaining its power and discipline. All in a place of where you don't have to go anywhere, do anything, just show up to the vibration of movement. Two of Wands. So we've stepped back in meaning. So that means you more or less went back into the turtle shell of more or less some sort of hermit energy, if you follow tarot story and old story, and are forced to understand that universe. Not the world, not the planet, not flat or global, yet the universe, which is then binary coding of frequency, of ones and zeros and colors. The Magician and the Eight of Pentacles, showing up to your own magic, being curious, and how that journey can take you. Whether you're admitting it to it or not, it's not really a choice. Someone will know what it is that you're doing without you knowing that they know. That's how intuition works. That's the power of the High Priestess. The High Priestess can see a lot of things and may be wrong in the assumptions of applying the energy of what she sees to what it is that's giving her the inclination to what she is seeing. So, is it that she's wrong? No. Is it that she's right? No. The mystery is the 369 imagination of all that unfolding in the magic things of the magical ways of thinking and being and becoming and what is. Knowing that materialism and logic some way can bring emotional intelligence to what is occupying space and time. Again, whether that is good or bad is subjective, and not the object towards thinking, I'm hearing. Feeling twisted in all that, Seven of Swords. I got a very, I get something when this card comes up, alright? Like I want to retain my energy that wants to react immediately whenever the card shows up, but I just can't. You know, I just can't stand this card. Give me any card besides this one. It's fucked up. Seven of Swords. Seven of Swords is a fucked up energy. Okay? You've been, to me, it's worse than the 10 Swords. 10 Swords is saying it's over. You don't see it. You just are in the bubble of feeling everything that's recycling itself so that it can be gotten rid of. Seven of Swords is that anchorage, that it's that last sword. It's gotten all your chakras. And they're not moving. Every engine within has a blow to it. Every engine is crying out for help. And it's so shut up that it can't. It's like tape over its mouth. Can't speak, so it feels too much. and drives you crazy, whether that's from neck up, insanity, or neck down, feeling uncomfortable with body. Alright. Put some of the cards in the Seven of Swords energy. Let's see what it's all about. No, we're not taking this. All of this. The main message is the King of Swords and whatever tale he or she has to say. Look at that Pekin Star card. This is a power of influence or trying to be. This is someone who can train the mind and knows that the student that's listening can more or less mold into however this puppet master wants to have this puppeteer become. Someone wanting to control the narrative, like I said, the devil with the world. What did I say? Someone putting that woo-woo, putting you in a little hypnosis. Someone watch, someone's gonna be like, maybe down the road, I'm like, giving that siren into the future. But you offer past life regressions, yes. And isn't it partial hypnosis? Yes. Yet. Not but. Yet. What you will ring to be true of what the past life regression from the high vibrational master practitioner that can show up to say that they're provided and thus provided will bring you with it a recollection of self that you know is of your own doing. If you do it quote unquote right, with the quote unquote correct moment, with the quote unquote right person, all of that is meant for you to get more of you. So if you leave a transaction second guessing it, then the answer is in the pudding. It wasn't the correct quote unquote good quote unquote person to go to. It's like trying a different color of the same type of clothing. It might be the same thing, but it makes you different, feeling a different way. Whatever type of color you wear, you might like apples, but you may not like all apples. You have probably a strong opinion versus one apple versus another. You might like people, but you might not like all people. You might like gum, but there are probably some brands you prefer more than others. I don't know. The question is not if I know, is do you know? People always go to mediums wanting to find out more about inevitability. And that's pretty much the way that tarot can be used as a taboo. Can be fucked with. I've been fucked like that. Everyone has their story. Everyone has their story of how they met the devil. Alright? The Fool. And I'm someone, if you take a little gander down in the description box, Devil Series. Battle with your own intuition. If that's something that you want to lean into and figure out for yourself what that means for me as the seventh energy to read these energies, to speak on that. The Fool. What gets in the way of who you are? Besides you, essentially. What gets in the way of that, though? Everything that's around you. Everything that you consume, everything that you eat. Everything that you think about, everything that you don't think about. Everything that you see with your eyes open and what you see or don't see with your eyes closed. Everything that you don't see with your eyes open. Everything you smell, everything you don't hear. Everything that's in the vicinity of being pretty much behind this wall affects you in one way or another. It's just how long until it does. How long until it needs to, if it wants to, if it will pivot your way to be your interest. Someone is in need to have a better relationship with the reflection of themselves. Learn the stages of vanity and get to the other side. Oh, yes. Four of Wands with the High Priestess. Like I said, look into the reflection and get to the other side. These energies speak for themselves. I'm just an interpreter. Yep, they speak for themselves. Four of Swords. In one way or another, you can't forgo and not resonating with something, especially if you retain some form of attention on this. If it's one person, it's valid and proof in the pudding. Even if that first person is the first one to unlike this video, that's okay. It's proof in the pudding. Whoever dances in being the devilish energy that doesn't know whether it's of light and darkness is part of the fucking game. So, is your action going to throw insult to my game? No. For I don't carry the weight of choices. Ten of Wands. There's a mutual energy to make it to the other side. Two of Swords. It's about the personal game of your choice. Not the choices I can induce or any other reader or any other person or the friends or the so-called friends, the neighbors, the strangers, the co-workers, acquaintance, the buddies, the friends with benefits, the online dates, the blind dates, soulmates, twin flame. None of that matters. Mommy, daddy, none of that matters. Sisters, adopted, biological, who you know, who you don't know, none of that matters. It's all you. It's all inside. I even felt that sass. I felt that shit. Y'all get it or y'all don't? Snap. All right. Some of you want to read tarot. Ace of Swords. You know, I use old tarot. Story with me has changed. Sorry to throw that ego at you. But yeah, old story has changed. Alright? Old story is old. Data to come, ladies and gentlemen, and all those in between and beyond. Data to come. But either way, there's an atmosphere change within you, right? Even if it's feeling something externally, that's what's embodying, reflecting from inside of you. You just maybe have mass between your consciousness understanding that it's within you, that you have unlocked something within you, that you know of something, that you're not broken, no matter how broken your thoughts may be. How to prejudice your thoughts maybe, and how maybe you're also racist to yourself. Whew. Who is she to be using that word? The mystery continues. It's funny how some people can be very insulted by certain things, and you need a little closer to their life, and oof, the shit that comes out of their mouth, or doesn't. But get away with the Emperor when it comes through, what it wants to show here, but get away with at the bottom of the cup. Bottom of the deck, the cup of aces. Ace in the hole is how this person is feeling, who feels insulted. Who knows the truth? We all do, because we all feel something. But I'm the one to antagonize you back with what we all feel in common and say, fuck our emotions, because all this is not the reason why we have to show up to this all the fucking time. This is the reason why we ignore half the shit all the time and then see ourselves wanting to be in front of a reader and make this make sense. Why this can't make sense while this is in pursuit of getting everything that we want. Confusing, isn't it? Confusing. Let's break that down. Using. Con can either be with in Spanish, with or without. F. Well, do we really need more clues what F could mean? A little bit of F, a little bit of U. And using, well, that seems like a easy word to kind of fantasize about. With or without fucking using. Nope. You have to try to get smarter than your emotions. And to do so unapologetically, because there are people who will hate you for that shit. There are people who will label you as narcissistic, and that's not to throw more gold to the game for those of you who actually are narcissistic. Y'all be exploited too. You can't wallow too long in his emperor power and not have some force of easy there, bucko. Showing right there up to remind you, take it easy, humble thyself. Take it easy, humble thyself. Yep, look at all this. Take it easy, humble thyself. What do we have to humble with the Emperor energy to give it that? Or what can you imagine it to be? Having the Emperor, quote-unquote, Aries energy, which is quite ironic for the astrology sign of Aries to have difficulties expressing this shit. But okay, anyway. Exit astrological input here for a moment and to continue the narrative. Putting so much stress into what it is that you're working on and diminishing this energy of where you've been broken, and who or what does the breaking, and how it leaves you in the end feel, all triggers ways that you can learn how to understand the duality of what life throws at you without you knowing how to identify it, without caring whether or not who gets allocated what kind of gender-specific or non-specific label to it. That's the Lover's energy, making that shit confusing for everybody. When it's not meant to be confusing, but let's add some flair to the fire. Why not? Fuck it, you know? That's the eye of the universe, not giving it. Damn, what the fuck is going on? Because in the eye of the universe is the eye of the hurricane. Peace, motherfucker. It's sunshine up in that bitch. Alright? How? Because she sees what she wants to see with the Queen of Wands and the Queen of Cups energy. She is in control of the narrative. She is the energy that makes the masculine God energy come up. The universe that you might be in question of through me, the reader, 7th energy, and the channels that I represent in reading these energies for you, always claim that God is not of doing of masculine energy. It shows up in your face because it's in your face, and it will teach you, like enter Aries, Most Aries are leaders, presidents, all that shit, you know. Exit stage right. Continue the narrative, non-astrological. This is a pursuit of follow the leader. The leader needs to understand what makes him or her humble. The people. The rest. The one that gets him or her up the throne and into power and thriving. Queens of Wands, Queens of Cups, and Queens of any kind of accord will make sure that shit is kept in check. Probably gonna get to the end of the deck for this entire story. It's interesting I haven't done that in a public reading. The story is old, now dated, so we'll get to the end of the story. Alright. We'll get to the end of the story. The Chariot energy. Proof in the pudding, you can't escape whatever is meant to be heard, however, whichever form the seventh decides to share the imagery, the words, the vibrancy, the frequency, the yeses and no, the contradictions, the pursuit of you having to figure out your own state of the game of the scavenger hunt, and whatever faith you want to put upon it to give yourself permission to live this journey, which is yours. Yeah, look how personal this is getting. Eight of Cups, the journey that is yours emotionally, and a journey that is meant to be yours with the Strength card. Whether you can tame your own discipline, or you can tame your own feminine and masculine energy. Are you your own queen to your king in energy? Are you your own queen to the emperor energy? Are you your own queen to the empress energy? Are you your own queen to the high priestess energy? Are you your own king to the high priestess energy? Are you your own king and queen to the devil energy? Are you the emperor to the devil energy? Are you the empress to the devil energy? Whichever way, it has to make multidimensional sense to you. However long it takes you and you want to show up to take in the information, it's very much available for you. All different kind of apps, all different kind of SEOs, all this type of kind of shit. Everything is upside down, hashtag in front of it or not. It's either believable or it's not. But take all information as no information and then figure out if you can come up to your own narrative and make what ring true. And who you can share that with at the end of the day, at 10 of Pentacles. Who's that tribe that's going to accept you to be who you are? Whichever small, big, massive way you want to live this existence. And how it will be fair and equal to everyone who shares the same existence. So, where you were the queen of the emotions, showing up to passion, making sure that the emperor is in check, you're the one that's the one grounded, right? Wouldn't that make sense? If you resonate with that knowing, with that possibility, with that doing, or sharing space with that, you are the Queen of Pentacles. You understand to bring focus to the game and not afraid to turn the coin around and accept the value of the other side. In doing so, you're victorious. However, you accept the possibility of needing to accept the other side. However, the other side wants to introduce itself in your life. However, the other side wants to introduce itself to you. The Hermit with the Nine of Wands. However, it wants to introduce itself to you. To teach you that you're the star. It's going to get to you however it can. And it will make sure that it will get 99.99% close to you in this lifetime. Holy shit. Holy shit. It will get to you. One step at a motherfucking time. It will get to you. Are you listening? Are you sharing? Are you subscribing? Knight of Wands, Justice. You're still figuring it out. I get it. I get it. I get it. I get it. You're still figuring it out. You're still figuring it out. But your world hasn't been in color, and you've been seeing the world in color, and now the fact that I can induce some color of resonancy, I'm the one that better not be in question. Ace of Wands, you should be the one in question. Ace of Wands. Ooh, ooh. Temperance. Who is in question? The one that shows up to be questioned. Who's then the one victim to being questioned? You. For what? Well, you're trying to figure out how important you are and how everything else can be unimportant or not. Because, yeah, your feelings, your knowing, your truths, your untruths, your opinions, your judgments, your prejudices, the way you can heal, the way you can get rid of negative energy in your life, whether that's chronic, emotional, physical, how you can get more money, how you can get rid of negative energy, how you can lessen the onslaught of chaos that narratives of breaking news, of television boxes, scrolling through the phones may give you these days. Let's just all take a sip for that for a moment. Everyone's so greedy and needing more and more and more. More and more and more and more and more. You need more and more and more and more and more. And then a lot of people need a lot of that, whatever that more is. They want that shit for free. Universe gives very free things at all fucking time. Like, it's so free. It's so free. It's so free, it's ridiculous. It's just whether or not you have the eyes to see what is free, to grab that shit up and make that happen. I was just gonna say, there's some envious eyes following me. Because it's a new channel, I know, just out of logical, and I don't give a shit when this timeline is, like, if let's say this channel explodes and this reading gets like 10 million views in like 30 years time, that's how much the eyes are on you. And that's how much time is irrelevant for how well they're going to be on you. So is my ego hurt? No, it's fun to assume and then perhaps live with the chances that I might make assumptions out of myself, and you included. Because who's really going to speak up on the real deal at all times, right? That's why I'm in a position where I am. And a lot of people who are in the same position, the closest variables in their life, are far away. And then these eyes of envy are trying to come up and be like, we call that Mercury retrograde energy. Bzz, bzz. Oh, what's up? What's up? What's up? And the what's up always stays a what's up, because the conversation is never going to go somewhere else. And what kind of reverb happens more than any other reverb besides Mercury retrograde, for those of you who follow astrology? Do not sign any contracts. Be careful of technology. Queen of Swords, ladies and gentlemen, the eyes of knowing, the eyes of truth. She will keep pushing no matter what. She will live and breathe her dream. She will live and breathe her conviction, non-gender specific. She will make sure she's aligned within this bubble. She can be controversial, I'll tell you that much. She can be dramatic. She can be the one that's depicted as, damn, you go around just tricking everybody. Or maybe I'm just extroverted and you're in my path. With that. Maybe I'm just extroverted and you're in my path. And how does fire get interested? Air. Oh. And what's swords? Air. And what's wands? Fire. Oh. Possibilities. And then the Page of Wands gets born. I don't know if it's all this fucking shit if the Page of Wands was already born in this reading. I've seen the Six of Wands. Yeah, I'm not gonna go fishing and all this shit. I have a feeling no. Who knows? But we don't want the Page of Wands to be born. We want the Phoenix to rise out of the ashes. The King of Wands is here, right? But this is the King of Wands that's matched with the Queen, so it's just solidifying sources. It's not leveling up. All right, Nine of Swords, Six of Pentacles. How do you get rid of this energy and show up to making this always work in our favor? However this makes you feel. You're going to want to get rid of this by at least using this to address it. Because this is uncomfortable. This may remind you of the beginning of the reading. What's lurking on the inside and was trying to make sense of what the competition is externally meeting its force, and then making sense of the force that's being met with what you're trying to understand with all the forces coming at you. Some of you are not really being able to adapt to some sort of uniformity, although you are an astrological reader. You know how to appease the narrative and how to gain interest, but to take it one step further, you're struggling with it. Yep. Judgment with the Knight of Pentacles. You can't see how yet to upgrade yourself, to give you an upgrade, to give yourself a next step. And it's because there are things that you yourself are not yet eager to show up for. We're not talking about some healer who needs healing. A healer that's stepped into healing knows that they're undergoing healing. We're talking about the version within the dialogue of the person having met their own ego, and whether or not that energy has taken a whole look upon themselves. Not the viewpoint of the ego, the viewpoint of the soul. The inner inertia, I'd like to say. Because that's the fucking moon, all right? That's the other side of the fucking moon that apparently can't really see in science. All right, close your fucking eyes then. Close your fucking eyes and see how comfortable you are. Close your eyes and see how comfortable you are. The Hanged Man with the Eight of Swords and the Five of Swords means that you're not very comfortable. Ten of Cups. There's rejuvenation of which you cannot see at the end of that tunnel. That tunnel ain't so dark as you think it is. And for a lot of you, as you know it is. there's a streamline of a cord going through all these cups that you travel in some sort of knowing, and in that world you feel safe, but it's secret. It's not exploited. It's not living in uniformity of introvertedness and extrovertedness at the same time. Yep. 3 major arcanas explaining that level stage of the message. The Star, the Wheel of Fortune, and the Sun card. What you perceive to be good and bad is a perception that you yourself go through experience. And however that experience shaped you is more or less the perspective that you have. Whether or not you see that as cycles beginning and ending is however gratuitous you come up to the moment. Whether it's balanced or not is part of also the longevity of time that you get to experience yourself in this dimension. Experience everything that you remember and everything that's to come and everything that's to unfold and all the variables in between a 1 step and a 2nd step and the denominations in between, the half steps, the 32nd notes, the 16th note, the 8th notes, the 4th, and so on. Being able to go back in time, hearing a reverse and not needing making make sense for itself, and then moving forward. All that is the 6 of Cups. Not having to anticipate an external force giving you that. Not having to have the predator who gave you trauma in one way or another or not be the one to turn around and also then give you an apology. That's too much of an expectation for someone who should have also known better instead of giving you trauma. So how do you rise up to this being all you giving yourself a high vibrational hug, a high vibrational chance of forgiveness, to accept, to let go, and anger. Because in doing that, you accept a multi-dimensional version of something that could have hurt you. Because let's face it, most injured reasons are the reasons why you pursue tarot, or interested into what it can offer, or interested in going to mentors of some kind of some sort of elitism to give you the courage to accept that of which it is that you're either processing or giving yourself courage to accept about yourself. That's immaturity and maturity, figuring it out for itself. Whether you're biologically adept to have a fluid motion of self is exactly the reasons why we are all the same and different from one another. King of Pentacles, becoming grounded with accepting the opposite side of what made the Emperor have to be humble for him or herself and for others. Taking a step back instead of being so greedy, being needy and codependent, understanding individualism, detached from need, and attached to flow. By narrowing the world of seclusion and inclusion by going back to him or herself. Celebrating life and all the perspective life has to give. And understanding that once a disconnection is made, it's an answer as to why the connection was broken. And when it's broken, then the biggest question is, does it remain broken, or did something come and break it and wants to go back into uniformity of some kind? People may teach you that, friends may teach you that, life can teach you that, but ultimately who gives you the ultimate knowledge of having a life lived is you teaching that to yourself. Fighting everyone along the way in order to keep your own integrity. And sometimes these are split denominations, so character developments of all the things that you can experience about yourself. These may not be just people, but just be personality attributes. One energy wanting to dress up like a little bit edgy, the other one a little bit emo, the other one femme, the other one masculine. Maybe sometimes you're moody. A little attitude here, a little happiness here, a little euphoria here, a little dazed here, a little sleepy there. Maybe they're just all different versions of energies that are just busy. Five of Cups. However you feel now is however you feel. But something tells me that you don't want to feel this way. What's evident about it? This whole reading or your feelings? Knight of Cups. Where are they telling you to go? What direction are they asking you to face? Because if you're reflecting away from them and you're not moving in the direction that they're leaning, you're going the wrong way. Seven of Wands. Needing to fight for what is yours. Are you understanding what it is that you're fighting for? While also not understanding what it is that you're fighting for. And your own warrior. King of Cups, of your own emotions and your own experience of life, because you're that independent to being yours. And you're that humble. You're that much in pursuit. Excuse me. It's about protecting what is yours and your dignity and your knowledge along the way. And giving yourself courage to dive into the deep waters of what you may not know. And knowing that you'll be the light at the end of the tunnel to get you there. Because you're your own creator, as the Empress energy shows. She shows up for the Emperor. But not until all those steps get determined, right? Not until we get to the bottom of the situation. Not until the truth comes all out. And we're only, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 perfect cards to explain the whole story as to why numbers exist. The number 0, which is now, was the beginning of everything. So everything is inclusive to this moment now, while all this has happened. The digits 0 to 9 explain the binary coding of the galaxy, where feminine energy is the creator of it. So let's tell her story. First card for the number 1. Love is that which it is that you may seek, but you keep constantly perhaps struggling with the idea whether or not it's unconditional and or conditional, and who can provide you that theology of proof in order for you to dive into the adventure of exploration. The story for number 2. Teamwork does make the dream work, but if you keep thinking that you're independent while dependent, while needing other people, you're understanding the game from an emotional point of view, and an emotional point of view is not going to give you success that's sustainable. It will give you success that is momentary and temporary. Even if temporary ticks away the time of the clock. After 21 years, you may learn that the 20 years was actually temporary, although you made it permanent at one point. The story for number 3, showing up to your own dominion is however large you feel in your own existence, quite literally. The story for number 4, feeling the power of inertia coming through. If you read tarot, you understand that this, in old traditional tarot, says that the message is coming through. But there's an illusion happening here. You don't know when this snapshot was taken. Are these wands right next to each other? Or are they in the viewpoints of maybe miles apart? You don't know the destination. You don't know if that energy is really coming through. You do not know if it's a unique form of a person, place, or thing, or congruent, and will reach its destination or miss it entirely. Yet is it an immovable object that you can't resist? Absolutely. Beginning with yourself. The energies for number 5. Can you catch that last wand? Here is the Page of Wands. It didn't come out like I didn't feel it was in the beginning. Do you want to be the Emperor, the King, the Queen? Who are you? Because right now, in the 4th, to bring after the 4th card, the 5th card of change, the number of change, number 5, is about you being acceptable to change. But can you take your hands and place them on the steering wheel's opportunity and put yourself in the driver's seat? No more backseat driver. The 6th card, no more backseat driver, Death card. Can you understand and heed the message to the call? And reach that light at the end of the tunnel. 7th card, knowing that your emotions are what now in the end of this reading and the end of this knowing and possible acceptance and state of inquisition and whatever it may bring forth. Ace card, you're that of which it is you know. The Hierophant, you're your own master. There are people who have been in charge of giving you what it is that you have the power of knowing. You simplify it in baby steps in numerology and the frequency of existence. You'd be surprised at what you can retain for yourself to know already. Last card. And we made it. The King of Swords. You're the god of your own creation. Yet feminine energy brought you there. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, and all those in between and beyond, that is the end of your reading. I'm wishing you a wonderful morning and or night wherever you are in the ether of this time and space, and may you keep flowing, growing, and glowing